Hey you guys, so today I wanted to share some life lessons, some things that I've gone through, things that I've learned in my 31 years. Yes, 31. If you didn't catch that in my birthday vlog, that's how old I am. But you know what, we don't need to dwell too much on that. I just thought, you know, if anyone younger than me happens to be watching, maybe you're like a teenager, maybe you're in your 20s or something, and you maybe don't have like the best example around you, because I know growing up when it comes to like money and stuff like that, didn't have the best examples, so I made a lot of financial mistakes. So if you kind of like are in a similar position, I figured, you know what, let me just give some advice. Maybe somebody happens to be watching and can take like a little nugget away from this, and they can avoid these bad decisions that I made. Now, some of these are going to range again from, like I said, like financial stuff to like personal things that I've just learned along the way. So without further ado, let's go. All right, so the first one seems pretty straightforward, common sense, but to me it was not. Pay your bills. Yeah, pay your bills. If you get a bill, just go ahead and pay that. Like, I kid you not, my attitude like in my early to mid 20s when I had bills was just kind of like, nah, I mean, I'll pay it, maybe I won't, whatever. This got me into so much trouble. Like my mid 20s that was a rough time for me. That was like a rebuilding period for sure. I went through like a very deep depression. It was just not good, okay? And a lot of it had to do with like financial stuff and really dumb financial mistakes that I made. And a lot of it stemmed from just not paying bills, or paying bills super late, letting things fall by the wayside. I mean, not only will this like affect like your credit, obviously, but then also it just has like a trickle down effect to where it's like affecting like your mental and emotional health, and it's just super reckless and irresponsible. And something that like came to me, this is God speaking to me, even though yes, technically I was in possession of money, very little money, but money nonetheless, even though I was in possession of that money, it wasn't mine. At the end of the day, that is the money that God allowed to pass through my hands. And how was I behaving with it? I was being reckless and stupid, not paying attention, not budgeting, which I'll be honest is still kind of like a thing that I need to get better at, but I pay my bills now. So yeah, what helped me in paying my bills, being on top of it, and just being responsible was shifting my mindset of, okay, yes, I technically have the money right now, but it's not mine. This is what God has like allowed me to have, so let me be responsible with that. Second point, another money point, save money. Just save some. Like, I never ever saved money. I've started doing that, and like I'm just so happy about it now that I have like a little egg, a little nugget stashed away. It just like makes me so happy that I have that. But yeah, for years, like all throughout my 20s, did not save money, because I was like, whatever, I'll get money again some other time. You never know. It's nice to have a rainy day fund. You never know what could happen. It's good to have, and it doesn't have to be tons of money. And I think that was my issue in like, or one of the reasons like I just didn't save money, because I just thought it had to be like I'm putting hundreds of dollars away constantly. If all you can do is put $5 away, $10, $1, like whatever it is, like within a week or 2 weeks, a month, whatever, even if it's just a small amount, at least you're trying, at least you're putting something away, so that if anything does happen, you have a little bit of extra money stashed away. So save money. And kind of tied into that point is, don't spend money on dumb stuff. I've spent so much money on dumb stuff. I'm like embarrassed. I don't even want to know how much money I've wasted over my lifetime on just junk, on crap, regretful purchases. There was one thing in particular, these boots. These disgusting boots. At the time I thought they were so hot. I remember, what's it, Carly Bible, that like a makeup YouTuber, she had posted these boots, and I was like, These are so fabulous. They were like these tacky black and gold like studded boots with like a curved heel on them with like black studs up the heel. They were like $85 and I bought them. I put it on a credit card, okay? And this ties back into like my other point where I wasn't paying bills. I put it on this credit card and never paid the credit card off. I never wore I think I wore the boots actually like one time. I wore these ugly tacky boots one time, never wore them again, because then I realized after wearing them, oh, these are disgusting. What was I thinking? $85 down the drain. Don't do it. Don't make dumb purchases. And this is like the biggest thing right here. This was like a big turnaround for me. Learn how to build / fix your credit. So as I mentioned, my like mid-20s was the time where I was just like starting all the way over. I had like lost everything. I lost my job, my car, where I was living. I couldn't afford to live there anymore. I had to move in with my mom. It was a whole thing. Okay, I had nothing and I was just at this point just like desperate. Completely had to like start over. But I guess it was probably like good to learn this in my 20s rather than being like 50 and losing everything, but I digress. So I like finally had pulled a credit report. I was like, I have to just swallow my pride. I have to deal with it. No matter how ugly it is, I need to look at it, make peace with it, and then figure out, you know, where to go from there. So I did that. If I could find the like program that I used, or like templates or whatever, I wrote letters to like credit bureaus to get things like removed from my credit history. I paid bills, made payments toward things to like get that off, and now I'm in a good place like credit wise. But yeah, I say all that to say, look into those things, face the facts, no matter how ugly they may be, and figure out how to build and maintain good credit, because it can really change your life. It makes things so much easier and way less stressful. And then my last money point, when it comes to like school, going to college, whatever, do not take out loans if you don't absolutely need to. Now, I loved college. It was such a great time in my life, and a large part of me doesn't regret going. I'm very happy that I did, but at the same time, I don't really think I had to go. I took out loans that like I didn't fully understand. I mean, partially I feel like the adults around me did not do a very good job of explaining like the terms and conditions, what all of this meant, because they just made it sound like, oh, just like you'll have to pay it back after you graduate, like, and you'll have a job by then, so like it's fine. Yeah, okay, read the fine print. I would say okay, this is just my personal advice. You really don't need to be taking out big loans for school unless you're like studying medicine, science, a lawyer, maybe business. Actually, not even business. I would say if you're doing some sort of science or math degree, medical, lawyer. Otherwise, I would really think twice about taking out lots of loans to go to school, because these days there are so many other options. You could learn everything you need to know just like on YouTube. So just be smart about money that you are spending, borrowing, and whatnot if you're going to be applying it towards education. All right, so kind of pivoting away from money talk, this is more like personal stuff that I've learned. And so the first thing I would say, and this is something that like really surprised me, and was like actually really hard for me to deal with, but I'm good now. You know, time heals all wounds, baby. And I'm good. But at the time it was so hurtful. Not everyone comes into your life to stay forever, and you definitely should not take it personal if and when they do leave. I've had like best friends that I've known since like 7, 8 years old that like we don't talk anymore. You know, we grew up together, and like I just imagine we're gonna be best friends forever. But then you grow up, you go through things, you make, you know, decisions that like will veer you in different directions. Things can happen, whatever, and then they might not be there anymore. Or it could be like a romantic thing too, like boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and you holding on like so tightly to these people, wanting them to be there forever. But people change and circumstances change, and it's not always like a personal attack or a personal thing, or not something that you need to be offended by. And that was like a big thing for me, because I do tend to take things kind of personally. I might not say it, I might not admit it to you, but like deep down, like I will take it so hard and it hurts. But I've just had to learn that it's like, people have their own things going on. I mean, and even I know in my own life, it's like, I'm not like personally doing something to hurt somebody else. I'm just going through something, and that's the same thing that could be going on in someone else's life. So just, you know, a friendly reminder to not be hard on yourself, not be hard on other people, and not hold things against people. You know, if you don't hear from them anymore, or you're not as close as you used to be, because things happen, life happens, and it just be like that sometimes. This one, I'm gonna give this piece of advice, but I need to take it myself. So set boundaries and keep them, because if you don't stand up for yourself, who will? Now, this is hard for me because I don't like displeasing people. Like, I want people to be happy. I don't want to make waves. I don't like confrontation, and I have that issue of being a people pleaser, and it's something that I'm working on. So maybe we can work on this together. Okay, setting boundaries, not breaking your back, you know, trying to make things work for other people if it inconveniences you. Yes, obviously it's great to like do nice things for people, nice gestures, be polite, whatever, but like if you're constantly putting yourself out to accommodate other people and it's becoming a problem for you, like, stop. And that, again, big issue for me. That's what I'm working on. So set boundaries, whether that is in a like romantic relationship, at work, that's a big one. Like, I used to always say yes. Anything they needed, I would drop everything and say yes, because I was scared. I didn't want to like lose my job, or didn't want anyone to be mad at me. But like, I have made a hard limit. I will come to work when I'm scheduled. Otherwise, don't contact me. So I mean, that's just like an example. But yeah, set boundaries, whether it's like at work, personal life, even with family. If you have to do it, you gotta do it. And then this one, for the women, for the ladies out there, and again, this is because I'm a woman, okay? So this is coming from a girl's perspective, so if it doesn't apply to you, just ignore it. But okay, ladies, you can say no to a man and they'll be just fine. And this is another issue that I had coming up, being a people pleaser and not wanting to hurt anyone's feelings or make anybody feel bad. I'd be like entertaining boys, like, I don't even like them. I want nothing to do with them, but like, I feel so bad like letting them down, or I don't want to come off rude, and so I'm like wasting everybody's time here having conversations or agreeing to hang out or whatever, when I have no interest. I don't care. I have no interest. Okay, it's okay to say no, and you don't have to be a jerk about it. You can be diplomatic, you can be nice and kind, but honest at the same time. It is totally possible. And whatever their reaction may be, whatever the feedback or response may be, that's not your problem. If you are not interested, it's not for you, that's fine. You can say no. Life moves on. There's 7 billion people on this planet, last time I checked, right? So yeah, don't feel bad in saying no. And again, like, low-key setting boundaries. And my last point, and this is something that I have really, I don't want to say come to terms with, because that sounds bad, but it's just really hit me in the last year or so, and I just feel so content like with this mindset, and that there is no shame in living a simple life. And I will be honest, I used to like look down on people who, you know, maybe stayed in my hometown, or, you know, they like got married young and had kids, started a family, and I'd be like, I'm going to a big city and I'm gonna pursue my dreams first. But I don't know, to me it's like that just seems like so shallow and insensitive. I don't know. And that just is like, that kind of attitude to me is somebody who doesn't maybe have much life experience. But now that I am a bit older, I've been able to see that simple things in life are kind of like the best things in life. If you were like me, you are like how I used to be, don't turn your nose up, you know, at a simple car, you know, driving a Honda. Like maybe your dream car is like having a Range Rover or a G-Wagon or something, which is totally fine. But I mean, driving a Honda is just as good. Like, you know, it's just things. You know, living in a mansion would be like an amazing dream. Obviously, who wouldn't love that? But living in a simple home is just fine too. Having a family and not striving to be like some wealthy person or a celebrity or whatever, like being just normal, living a normal life with a family is just as good. I hope that I'm articulating myself well. I don't know, I feel like it's another one of these things where it's like in my head it makes perfect sense, but as I'm saying it out loud it's kind of weird. But yes, I've come to the realization that living just a normal, simple life is just fine. And if that is what you want, if that's what someone that you know wants, let them have at it. Alrighty guys, so that is everything. I hope that you enjoyed. Hopefully you can take something positive away from this video. I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!